Good morning, Bird Brains. We are right now in the Between Two Wheels studio, and I thought I would give you guys a little bit of a tour here just so you see how everything is kind of set up and how everything works. I'm going to be recruiting Roblox help for this since he is the one that was the mastermind behind all of this. But just to give you kind of a rundown of what I see here. So this right here is my microphone. I sit right across from Uncle Ken right there. Roblox, the master over there. This is basically a slave screen. This just shows what he sees over on that monitor. That way we can actually read all of our show notes while we're going through the episode. All of our mics, I'm just spewing knowledge here, are routed over to here. Go ahead and tell us kind of the basic setup of what we got going on here.
So right now we have our 3 microphones coming in over XLR. We have a mix minus setup that's connected to the computer so that when we start doing a Skype interview or any type of interview where we all need to be able to talk to the interviewee, we all talk to them and there's no delay in them hearing their voices either. So that's our mix minus setup, and then we have our tip ring coming out, which then goes to our recorder so that we can record it in a more safe manner instead of going straight to the computer. And then coming out, we have a headphone preamp, which allows me to adjust Ken's, myself's, or Justin's headphones so that we are not getting blown out of the water because one of us are deaf and all that. So. And then I have a secondary computer right here that allows me to pull up any notes or anything that I'm working on separately from the podcast if we need to do some quick research or something.
Cool. And then of course you can see behind me, we've got all of the sound deadening material on the walls. We also have a couple panels down here that, correct me if I'm wrong, we're planning on blocking that doorway?
Correct.
Okay, so this is the upstairs loft area of Roblox's house, and as you can see, there is a doorway to the stairwell, and of course any noise that's happening downstairs gets funneled up into here. So essentially what we're going to be doing is building some sort of apparatus to basically block that off. We kind of ghetto rigged it last time and it seemed to work pretty okay. Very little noise actually got through. And then other than that, this is basically just Roblox man cave. Are all the pops yours, or are those all
no,
your wife's?
Those are my small collection.
That's yours. Okay, so got the, what do we got here? Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. We have G.I. Joe Roadblock. And then some of my Overwatch characters.
So that's video games.
My James Bond.
James Bond, got it.
With your green velvet chair.
Yeah, you have to have the green velvet chair for gaming.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm running a PS4 and an Xbox One.
And that's just your gaming setup.
Correct. And then Tracy got me the Stormtrooper bobblehead pop to go for the bike. So that's why it's up by the motorcycles.
Oh, this one right here. Got it. Next to the bikes. Are the saddlebags all in good shape? No, none of them been repainted?
None of them have been repainted or replaced.
Gotcha. All right, guys, well, we're gonna get to work, so enjoy this little preview of episode 3.
Yep.
And if you want the full episodes, link, as always, down in the description.
Yeah. What I found really interesting is how they collected data on the near crashes. They were using all of those instruments, and they actually created algorithms to look for deviations from the standard. Yeah, that was a first that had never been done before, as far as motorcycles go.
So in recording all this data, so they had 5 cameras on each bike, one facing left, right, forward, backwards, and one on the rider.
Yeah, facing the face of the rider.
Facing the face of the rider, exactly. And they had the telemetry so they could tell how hard you were braking, how fast you were accelerating, your lean angle, your G-forces. So they had all this information that you find on really high-end like race cars.
Okay.
And that really changed how motorcycle accidents are evaluated. So some of the other stuff here, the next most common type of crash, so low speed crashes were the most typical crash.
Quote unquote crash.
Crash,
yeah,
exactly.
So, and the way they described that, or they defined it, was a ground impact.
Yes.
Okay. And that was what, 57% or so of the total crashes were low speed.
Correct. So low speed or no speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next most common type of crash was leaving the road and or crossing the path of another vehicle.
Or a vehicle crossing the motorcycle's path.
Correct. Which, depending on where you're riding at.
That's one thing they did bring into the study was the type of riding you're doing, as opposed to like if you're riding on open highway as opposed to an urban environment.
Right. So one of the things I did find interesting was that only 7% of the crashes were from being rear-ended. Now, I can speak on my behalf that 33% of my crashes I've been rear-ended.
33?
33.
How many have you been in?
3.
So 66%.
No, I wasn't rear-ended. She sideswiped me.
Oh, God.
Details.
Sideswipe from behind.
But we will actually get to that because that's actually mentioned here.
But the number one accident was someone running into something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, by quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
35 of the 50-something events were rear-end striking.
Yes, that was the motorcycle rider
Hitting
something else
from
by themselves.
Yep.
And Justin, 100% of your crashes have been you crashing into something.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Which is funny because I've crashed an ATV pretty bad, and it was the exact same thing. Well, not the exact situation. I went into a puddle, and I couldn't see, and the other person stopped. But, I mean, opened my eyes, and boom. So, 100%. I'm 2 for 2, yeah.
So, one of the things I liked, but from reading this report is from a near crash incident perspective, going around a curve, the majority of the near crashes happened by crossing over the left side of your lane.
Yeah.
Now, how that happens, right? If you're going around a left-handed turn, you're crossing into the middle. Going around a right-handed turn, you're going way wide and crossing over.
And one of the things that you have to clarify in their report, a curve was always a right-hand curve. That was one of the most dangerous.
Okay.
And they include turns, a right-hand turn as a curve.
Sure.
Anything to the right. If you're not going in a straight line and you're curving or turning to the right, that was a curve.
Okay.
So that was crossing over the left, which obviously you would be going way wide.
Right.
Or running off the road.
So wait, pulling a Donnie.
Yes. So you either went wide or you came in too sharp and went into the curve too deep.
Okay.
I've seen that happen,
Yeah. So, you always hear that, the most common accident is someone pulling out in front of you. Mm-hmm. Someone pulling out in front of you. They turned in front of me, or they pulled out in front of me, whatever. No, it's people rear-ending other things.
It is, but you're talking about two different classes because the rear-ending was in the driver caused, or rider caused.
Correct.
But if you look at when there was other factors, those uncontrolled intersections had a 40 times more likely. The uncontrolled, no stoplights or anything like that.
Yeah, which is crazy. So you're driving down the highway and there's a road coming out from the left or the right.
Yeah.
There's a 40 times higher chance that you're going to get hit by someone.
40 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That number was staggering to me. Like I knew, like anyone that rides knows that
Intersections
those type
are the
of
worst.
because you're literally putting your life in their hands. That please see me, please don't kill me.
Exactly.
We've all had those thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 40 times.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. That's a huge margin.
Yeah.
So
the next closest one to that is the combination of behaviors, either inexperience or riding outside of your limits.
Yeah.
And that was at 30 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you have aggressive riding, increases your accident rate by 18 times.
So that means all three of us are screwed. We're 18 times more likely to crash.
Yeah, we're definitely kind of aggressive riders. And then inattention. You're just cruising on the road, not paying attention. You're complacent, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 times more likely.
Yeah, 10 times higher. And then, of course, if you combine those things where you're being aggressive but you're not paying attention, which, I guess you can do, it's 30 times higher.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, something that I think we all know deep in the back of our mind that's a dangerous spot, but you're 9 times, according to this report, 9 times more likely to be in an accident by leaving a parking lot or a driveway.
Didn't you? Isn't 33% of your accidents in parking lots?
Well, yeah.
Based off of this definition.
Yeah. The chick rear-ended, or she backed into me.
Yep.